Oh, Coach One, how the roles have reversed finally, huh? All right, I mean, being a part of this football program for about 3 years, I've learned a lot about Coach One as a coach and as a man. I sat in this very cafeteria my sophomore year after we won our CIF championship. And I was sitting right around here in the front row, and I sat down, and they were giving a speech about the coaches the seniors were, and Connor Wingenroth, as you all know, came up here and gave a speech about Coach One. I couldn't help but think, who's going to give it to him my senior year? And so I've been thinking about it a lot. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I remember especially my sophomore year, he had that 250 win he got against Ridgeview High School, I believe, right, Coach? Chaminade, my bad. Okay. And after looking at the success the program has achieved, you kind of wonder, well, what does Coach One mean to this program? And two things really stand to me when I think about Coach One is his confidence and his competitive edge. And I just remember last year, I know we love to forget it, hate to remember it, as that Valencia game, we were up by a lot, lost by a little bit, and I remember the team, we were kind of confused, we were kind of lost, soul searching before playoffs started. And Coach One, he came up to us and knew right what to say. I remember, I don't know if it was the day of films after that game or if it was on Monday at practice, but we knew we were playing Edison High School, and he said, these are the same guys that wanted to play you in real pads after we beat them on 7-on, and we're going to go hand it to their rear ends again, And you're kind of just like, wow, I guess we're going in, Coach. And sure enough, we did. And his competitiveness is obviously necessary in football, and Coach One really represents that well. And I remember this year specifically, I'll leave the player unnamed, but a receiver of ours dropped a pass. And, Coach One went up to him and he said, you're a good player, but do you want to be great? And I kid you not, the next play he caught a 40-yard touchdown. And I also remember in the Muir, we played Muir last year, my junior year, and we were killing them pretty bad. And I was having a pretty good game to start. Got all my kickoffs in the end zone. And there was one play towards the end of the game, I didn't get one in the end zone, and I was like, whatever. Coach isn't going to say anything. We're killing these guys, we got this locked up. And sure enough, I come back to the sideline, and Coach One's there. I was kind of confused at first. I was like, Coach, I'm not that bad. And he said, don't you want to be perfect, Andrew? And that's kind of stuck with me ever since. It was kind of tough to swallow a little bit. I was like, Coach, of course I want to be perfect, and he was kind of competitive with me. He's competitive with his players to get the best out of us. He knows. He's confident in us. He builds confidence in us. And sure enough, the next week after that Muir game, I don't know if we were on the 37-yard line, 4th down, he said field goal unit, and I ran out there and set that record. And I owe all that to Coach One for having confidence in me. And one last memory that will for sure stick with me for the rest of my life is we had just lost to Valencia, and we were 8-1, right? And we had nothing left to play for. We weren't going to be league champs, and we were playing Canyon. And Coach One walks in the locker room before the game. And he said, don't do it for those fans out there. Don't do it for yourself. Don't do it for your parents. Don't even do it for me. He said, do it for your teammates. Do it for those guys like Porter, like Fitzpatrick, like Wingenroth, the guys who've never beaten Canyon before. Out of all the things he's bestowed upon me, he said, you do it for the guys that are working with you to achieve your goal. And that's a big part about life that needs to be recognized. And I want to go back to my original question I asked about, what does Coach One really mean to Hart football? And I think a lot of the time people get confused when they say Hart football. They say, well, what is Hart football? And they forget the last part of Hart football, and that's the winning tradition. And you don't have that without Coach One. He is the winning tradition. That's the reason why this program is so successful. And all these years, I just played football at high school, and Coach One, every time he announces me at the player of the week, or even up here, he always says, the kicking duties or the kicking chores. And I really don't understand, because it was a privilege, Coach. Thank you.